Alright my people, so Teofimo Lopez does not deserve this title shot, and it's not just a Shakur Stevenson performance. This is a guy who struggled and looked beatable across multiple fights now, yet here he is getting a crack at a world title in a weight class he's never fought in. So the question isn't just can he beat Rolly Romero, it's does he deserve the shot. Let's talk about it. This Saturday we get Teofimo Lopez stepping up to welterweight to challenge Rolly Romero for the WBA title, and honestly on paper this should be an easy night for Teo, yet the more you dig into the recent form the less straightforward this actually looks. Teofimo Lopez is not walking in here full of confidence, he's walking in off the back of getting completely shut out by Shakur Stevenson. 12 rounds, no answer, the most one-sided loss of his career, and before that it wasn't exactly smooth sailing either. He had the Kambosos loss where he got dropped and his father, who was the cornerman for that fight, advised him go out there and knock Kambosos out.
Bro, the right hand is working. Finish him already, what the fuck is going on?
If only it was that easy. Then you had the Sandor Martin fight, which a lot of people, including myself, thought he lost. So when you stack it all up, this is a guy who's had 4 fights in the last few years where he's either looked lost or looked genuinely beatable. And that's not a small sample size, that's becoming the story of his career post-Loma. Now compare that to Rolly Romero, who's walking in full of confidence, and for a good reason. Just beat Ryan Garcia to win this very title. And yeah, I know that fight wasn't pleasant viewing. Ryan barely threw anything after getting dropped in round 2, but a win's a win. And Rolly did what he had to do. He controlled that fight from start to finish. So you've got one guy who's fresh off a statement win and one guy who's fresh off getting embarrassed, and that's just facts. Before we get into styles, I do want to touch on something, because this fight is another example of a big name getting an opportunity in a weight class he's never been in or ever fought in. And if we actually want boxing to be taken as a serious sport, then stuff like this shouldn't be happening at all. It shouldn't just be the norm that you can jump in at 147 pounds with 0 fights and get a world title shot right away. It should be reserved for champions. Now in this scenario, do I think Teo deserves this shot off the back of getting embarrassed by Shakur? Obviously no, I don't think he's earned it. But compare it to how these things usually go. Guys getting belts over emails, guys coming back from suspensions and walking straight into world title fights. This is mild in comparison. So I'm not going to sit here and act like this is some travesty, it's just not an ideal situation. And while we're on the topic of jumping up in weight, there's something else worth mentioning. Early on in his career, Teo was considered a proper puncher, a genuine knockout artist, yet by the time he got up to 147 pounds, that power just wasn't translating the same. He wasn't hurting people like the way he used to, and not being able to stop fighters like Clagger and Ortiz who have been stopped by other people is a huge red flag. Now he's jumping up another weight class, and I have real doubts that he's going to carry any sort of power up with him, and that matters a lot here, because with a fighter like Rolly, you need to earn his respect early. If Rolly doesn't fear anything coming back at him, he plants his feet and he starts letting his hands go with real confidence. So if Teo can't make him think twice in the first few rounds, this has the potential to turn ugly real quick. Now let's actually get into the styles, because this is where things get interesting for me. Teo on his day is just levels above Rolly. Technically we're talking sharper hands, better footwork and more variety in his shot selection. Teo can pop in and out, touch the body and use angles. Rolly for the most part just sets his feet and looks to land the one big shot, and when you give him that opening he can be vicious. He's not a mover and he's not going to chase you around the ring. So if Teo shows up like the version we saw against Barboza, sharp, patient, picking his shots, this fight does not go the distance in Rolly's favour. It's not close. Yet here's my worry, and it's the same worry I had going into the Shakur fight. Can Teo bring that version of himself when it matters? His biggest issue was never really his skill set, it's what's going on in his head.
Not at all. I hate myself for it, but it's part of it. It's just part of the life.
You don't appreciate it as well.
I don't appreciate it. That's why.
Oh, shit.
I don't. I think that I get butchered, and I think God punishes me a lot for it. So I'm just a punching bag to that. So one day I'll get, maybe one day, but not yet.
We appreciate you though, brother.
And this is corner. His dad's still calling the shots, and we've seen that go wrong multiple times now. We've seen the corner tell him to take your time, and in the same breath tell him to just get the KO. We've never actually seen any adjustments made mid-fight, and that's on top of a fighter who in his own admission has had confidence dip in and out during camps. So my question isn't does Teo actually have the tools to beat Rolly, because he clearly does. The question is, does he show up ready or does he show up like the guy we saw against Shakur? Rolly's power is his standout trait. He's bigger and he's stronger at this weight, and if he catches Teo clean early like he caught Ryan, it changes everything. Teo's chin hasn't been tested at this weight, so there is a live path here for Rolly. It's not a total mismatch. So where do I land on this one? I think Teo's the better fighter, full stop, but I don't fully trust the version of Teo that shows up right now. but Rolly isn't a mover, and that has been Teo's kryptonite. If you stand in front of Teo, he will make you look silly. Also, I just can't erase the Loma night from my mind. He was so good on that night. So I'm leaning towards Teo on points, something like an 8-4 decision, where he does enough but doesn't silence the doubters. If the old sharp Teo shows up, he'll get this done in the mid rounds. If the version we saw against Shakur shows up, Rolly's power and confidence could make this a genuine competitive night. Let me know what you guys think. Does Teo get back on track here, or does Rolly make it 2 big scalps in a row? This is Punch Fiction signing off.